Good evening to one and all. So my name is Rathnaprabha. I represent Société Générale today to talk about our innovation journey. So we believe that every innovation has a story, irrespective of whether it is considered successful or not. So we'll talk about one such story right now. Al-Hafid was a wealthy man who owned a large farm in south central India. He lived a very contented life until an ancient Buddhist priest told him of the existence of diamonds. He became so obsessed with the idea of becoming incredibly wealthy by finding these precious gemstones that he sold his farm and traveled the world in search of these diamonds until he spent all his money. Despondent and penniless, he drowned himself. The story doesn't finish here. Back at Al Hafid's property, meanwhile, the new owner took his camel to give him a drink of water at the garden brook. When the camel was drinking water, the owner noticed a brightly colored rock glinting in the water. He took it home and placed it on the fireplace mantel. A few days later, the old Buddhist priest returned to the property. Seeing the colorful rock on the fireplace mantel, he recognized it as a large diamond in the rough. Thus was discovered the diamond mines of Golconda, one of the most magnificent diamond mines in all the history of mankind. Golconda diamonds are very well known today as the highest quality gemstones. In fact, if some of you know about the Hope diamond, it is supposed to be from this particular Golconda mine. What should the what should the wealthy farmer have done instead of selling everything and traveling the world in search of diamonds? For starters, he should have uh, invested time and effort to learn what diamonds look like in its native form. He should have also learned what types of geological formations they're typically found in. These two steps would have definitely vastly increased his odds of finding his fortune. The moral of the story is extremely simple. You don't need to look elsewhere for opportunities, achievements, or fortunes. They usually are found in your present circumstances. Problems usually always contain within them the seeds of opportunity. When diamonds are pulled out of the ground, they come disguised as rough hewn, colorful rocks. It takes a very trained eye to recognize them in the same way. Opportunities come disguised as problems or challenges to be overcome. The average person sees only the problem and quickly learns to even live with them. But small handful of entrepreneurial skilled people push on through these challenges and capitalize upon the opportunities that they contain. Innovation is all about solving the problem at hand. The best starting point for innovation is to ask powerful, provocative questions. What if? Why not? Innovative leaders question the world, literally, constantly, provoking others to think differently, openly. But it all starts with asking the right question. Innovation is definitely not being efficient. It is a trial and error experimentation. It is about supporting people who are passionate, who passionately believe in changing the way we do things. They're desperate to change it. They fail and will fix it since they have the passion to do it. Innovation is nothing but application of technology, the know-how to solve a problem. At SocGen in 2016, a few years ago, we were wondering why is it that small companies who are under-resourced have bright ideas and are extremely innovative. It was inspiring for us to really dive into that problem, and that began our first journey on our open innovation. We learned from them specifically what inspired us is their ability to change direction. Innovators are rarely stuck in their path. They are willing to change and then change again. Today's successful product is probably tomorrow's failure. We learned a very important lesson. If you see an opportunity, follow it. If you don't see one, create it. So with that, we start our presentation specifically on our journey. So the Innovation Hub in Romania and India, which I head today, is strategically aligned to the innovation agenda of SocGen. So we remain a shared service center, but represent the innovation pillars that are important to our entire group. And we form one of the core value elements today, and we follow it very closely. Specifically, we have followed a model apart from the investment that we put in the beginning of the year. We are mostly a self-funded team with over 60 experts who are in the Innovation Hub, but specifically we also work with over 150 people virtually from all the teams who contribute and perform these innovation actions with their own teams. We've been practicing open innovation through our Catalyst Accelerator program. We're running the 7th edition now. I'm just representing a few important milestones here, and we also have our own entrepreneurship model that we have practiced. I will come to it in the next slide, which we call as our own internal startups. Primarily, to summarize, our entire setup, we are a very well-recognized ecosystem of Center of Excellences, COEs, within the Société Générale group. All these COEs, some of them are global, which means that the global head of the COE sits in the offshore center and is able to manage teams globally, as well as there are teams that we are locally managing on. Some of these are quite recognized: the Design Center of Excellence, Artificial Intelligence Products Division, blockchain teams, augmented reality teams, cybersecurity teams, smart automation and data. These are not entirely present in the Innovation Hub, but they are the COEs that belong to the offshore and nearshore teams. Moving on, I will quickly cover what we have primarily accomplished in some of these COEs to give you a sense of the kind of work that we have done in the last 4.5 years. So the Artificial Intelligence Hub primarily is a product division where we take up a problem. I'm just going to give an example. For example, the KYC, the Know Your Customer remediation problem, or a problem of figuring out document inconsistencies, or a complete text extraction or text extraction from documents as a platform. We also invited several startups such as Stride to do document recognition in the beginning, and we've continued to work with them in production. We have our own employee onboarding platform, etc. And we have of course, I don't expect you to remember these names, but these are all our global platforms today. They're in production and they're producing tremendous efficiency for our group. So basically, these products are reusable, are applicable to several other scenarios, such as what I mentioned. But what we do for the KYC document recognition, we're able to do it for loan document verification, as an example. On the emerging tech pillar, we have our own products on augmented reality. We have participated several global consortiums on blockchain, where we have been the development partner or the review and technology partner of the consortium, which are in production today. And then we have done several experiments on IoT and homomorphic encryption. And now we are into low-code apps. So this division is a secondary research and product development division. Internal startups, we have several models in which we have incubated our internal startups. Some of them have been spun off, and some of them have been absorbed by the business lines as projects for 3 to 5 years. And it's very important to notice here that our internal startups have been completely incubated, accelerated from our offshore entity, which are now global in nature. Our Catalyst Accelerator program has a research element to it, where we have tied up with IISc Bangalore and IIT Madras, where we are conducting primary research. And then we also have our Catalyst division conducting live POCs and MVP experiments with startups whom we have onboarded, more than about 80 to 90 of them in the past. Our consulting and design center of excellences are doing end-to-end consulting design. They have their own offering. And it's very interesting to see how these divisions have really integrated and collaborated with all our other divisions to be able to start any project or a consulting assignment and be able to finish it with a transformation. The digital transformation division has its own physical hub, frameworks, methodologies. And, in a nutshell, we have we've consolidated it here, but we have 7 hubs that interchangeably work with each other. And in summary, we have created an ecosystem of COEs and hubs that are able to take on any type of a business innovation problem and is able to not only provide a business case and a solution at the high level, but is also able to execute and implement the solution end to end for the group. I'm just going to summarize it again before we move on to discussing about the innovation barriers and risks. So in summary, we promote innovation, which means that we have our sales division as well embedded in our innovation division, in order to make sure that the value of innovation is promoted in all business lines and support lines. And as I mentioned now, the ecosystem comes together very well. All the 7 hubs work hand in hand, and we do create feature teams to face any type of business problems very efficiently and then we have balanced range of competencies across all of these divisions. As I said, the 60 plus experts are handpicked, well trained, and are deployed almost in the second week of hiring. We have a very good partnership with the businesses and center of excellences across the group as well, without which we will not be able to find our business problems and give solution and be able to make revenue for the products and services, because it's an inherent part of our model. Strategic mix of radical and incremental innovation is encouraged, because we don't expect every innovation to be extremely reusable or big in nature, but it's important that we are able to progress on it. We have models where we produce POCs and MVPs in just a few weeks, which is very important for us to differentiate our offerings, to be able to give reduced time to market, fail fast. And since it's a self-funded division, we're able to take those decisions very quickly. I've already spoken about the internal startups, and through our internal startups, we also work with the external industry, and that's very important for us to learn from the external industry, price our products appropriately for Société Générale, and also be able to make sure that our use cases find new challenges and be able to fit into a variety of different business environments. That's very important for us. These are some of the barriers that, if not taken care of, can really become a barrier to innovation. So I'm just quickly going to scan through some of them, and happy to take questions at the end if you have questions on any of them. The mindset, and this is from our experience, mindset and attitude, especially of the innovation team, is extremely important, where primarily we refuse to see the risks in the beginning, and that's the attitude we carry. And because we have the fail fast liberty, I think we are able to move through this challenge extremely well. And it's our job, responsibility, to inculcate these behaviors within the organization. Today at SocGen, I'm able to proudly say that it's the businesses are equally equipped with this mindset and attitude, and that helps our progress on the innovation front and makes our life extremely easy. The commitment beyond the POC and MVP from the divisions is extremely important. There are, I would say, at least 60% of the areas where we stop at POC and MVPs, and that's okay as an organization, where we're not able to go through till deployment for good reasons. Innovation is good when you don't see the pressure of productivity gains, because then that brings in several angles of budget constraints, etc. But then it's inevitable, and as much as possible, we try to keep the pressure of productivity gains away from the innovative landscape. The leadership support at every level is very important for a successful innovative organization, which we can say today that it is available for us across SocGen. Budgets and targets have to be taken care of, and it's a very important element, especially for a self-funded organization. And we manage this at every level, in terms of pricing our products to working with the budgets of various organizations, prioritization, and the whole gamut of all of that. Partnering on innovation with external parties and even within the organization with several COEs is a very important element, and this cannot be discounted, because innovation cannot be performed only by innovation teams. So the partnership with the business lines, today we take it when we submit our KPIs to the organization. It is very important that we take care of, for example, process transformations or implementation of various products and even development and design of various products and services that are done within the business lines themselves. Ultimately, that is what the culture talks about. Everything is not to be done by the innovation team. We are here as a federated or a centralized or decentralized model, as we speak in several organizations, it is our job to accelerate innovation, not to take over innovation. And that's exactly where the partnership governances are laid about. Mistrust and incomplete strategies in making smart partnerships have impacted us in the past, and we've learned very good lessons. And this is something that we take care of, because building trust, sharing credibility, sharing credit, and having complete strategies with the management on innovation definitely leads to success. The last part of my presentation today, I will talk about potential risks, because a lot of innovation departments do not take off, probably because they think that the risks are too high to invest in innovation. And I would like to probably differ from that thought, and beg to differ totally, because as an experienced organization, I think we have taken calculated risks, I would say, but risks have not been put up as a banner on our forehead to start with, or any time in the journey. Overlapping services within the organization has been a challenge for us. For example, I will give you examples where IT is, our IT departments and most IT departments are facing the business. So when innovation departments also approach the businesses do get confused whom to talk to about the challenge or the problem. Should they talk to the IT department? Should they talk to innovation departments? And it's okay to talk to anybody if we have the right partnership with the IT departments, I would say, or go with the IT departments and face the businesses, and give the liberty to the businesses to take their decisions along with us, and stay as an advisor and a partner, truthfully. And that has helped us. For example, we used to take up a lot of ad hoc development on the various technologies that we focus on, and we've moved away from that model as a learning, I think 2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago, where we have now set up product divisions. We act as a startup within SocGen. We are a product division, we are a service division, we are a design division. So we have practiced so many roles, and that comes easily to us to change where we see friction or resistance or issue. We are able to play a completely different role. And as I said in the beginning, we don't stick to our paths very strictly. We are capable of changing direction, and that's one of our USP. Uh, Spend on innovation always cannot be capitalized. Suppose, let's say, I invest 200,000 euros on a specific product. Am I able to capitalize all the 200,000 from the same product in the same year? Maybe, may not be. And that should not bother us, because in the gamut of the large set of products and services we offer, there is a give and take, and we should be able to manage all those P&L and be able to move around our products and services in such a way that what we invest in today will reap us benefits tomorrow, and we should be able to explain and justify that to the organization. And niche skills that we take pride of, as I talked about, we have 60 plus resources that are extremely skilled in most of the important COE work that we do, are always not retainable. So our ability to upskill constantly and have backups, and also integrate with the BLs on the same skills to be able to take their resources to work on projects, always gives us enough backup. Working with implementation teams doesn't let us take the load on production, for example, where if we suffer an attrition, immediately the business lines are able to take that load on our behalf. All this is a partnership and an understanding, and that is extremely important for us to keep that in mind. Inconsistent success and consistent failures. I think all of us know that this is constant. Um, Sometimes we have consistently failed in certain products, and sometimes the successes are not very consistent as well. And we have to bear with this, and it's not a terrible moment when we look at it. So in fact, offsites and seminars and re-strategizing happens every quarter in our division, and that's completely okay, because we carry that mindset and we are ready to change course in a jiffy if required. Change in organization strategy, for example, the COVID times is now demonstrating more than any other times that changes in organization strategy is a must to follow closely, to adapt, and what is the benefit to the organization if we are not able to change course. Today, I think we are literally approaching all the businesses very frequently to understand what are the changes in the business strategy so that we could adopt, prioritize, and give them products and services that are, for example, digital channels. Approaching our customers through various digital channels is an extreme requirement. So we are totally putting our focus into that in certain areas. That's a good example. Another example could be the loans, where we have to now provide fast underwriting. We have to figure out our underwriting from several days to a few hours now. How do we do that extremely fast, and how can innovation do it fast, better, cheaper, and deliver it to the organization quite fast? So these are the areas how we really integrate innovation as part of the organization strategy, and thus, as we make the organization successful, we feel proud and successful as well. So thank you. That was my presentation, and I'm happy to take a few questions. Over to you, Gautam.
Hi, Prabha. Yeah, so we have a question from the audience. What can innovation teams do better or differently to show business outcomes and business benefits?
Business outcomes are definitely a part of the business case that we prepare. We do not start any work without estimating, what are the investments we need to make the product or service successful, as the innovation successful, and what is the business outcome that can be expected, whether it is a soft outcome or a hard outcome. Let's say it's an experience-based outcome, which is not totally measurable, but then if it gives us repeat business and if it adds to certain other products, as an example, that would be a great business outcome in terms of customer retention. So the evaluation of the business outcome is not done at the end in an innovation journey. It is very important that business outcome is done at least 2 or 3 times in the innovation journey. Definitely at the beginning, once or twice in the middle of the innovation journey, and we have dropped projects in the past where the business outcome is no more relevant compared to the investment that we make in that particular innovation, and that is completely okay. And business outcome is extremely important KPI that determines literally the value. So what we call as revenue is what, in terms of what we earn for the effort that we have put, but the value is the complete business case. The value can run into millions, but the revenue can just be a few hundred euros, as an example. The business outcomes is a real value that the product or a service of innovation really delivers.
So thank you, Prabha, for answering the question and sharing your insights. It was great having you here to discuss the journey and share your knowledge with the audience. Thank you very much.